Oh, sorry, I was distracted. See, it's so freaking hard to stay focused these days because there's like a dozen things triggering our dopamine every second. But today, you're in luck because I'm about to give you some pro tips for how to actually keep your mind on task even when you're working on something that is brutally tedious. I'm Andrew with Brainscape, an adaptive flashcard study app built on decades of proven cognitive science research into how we learn and perform better. Our team has dug into hundreds of academic studies about concentration, and we've boiled down the challenge into two main productivity killers that we've covered in our recent article. Inertia, the inability to start the activity in question, and distraction, losing momentum once you've already started. Let's tackle each one separately. Our first inertia fighting tip is to hack your environment to trick your brain into thinking studying is actually convenient. Think about it. If your books and notes are packed deep in a bag somewhere, it feels like such a schlep to dig them out and start studying. But you're way more likely to start studying if you already have your laptop, books, water, and snacks sitting right there on your desk for you. Even if you're not ready to study yet, just putting these things at your fingertips shortens that mental distance between now and starting to study. Same thing as if you're studying digital materials instead of physical books. For example, keep Brainscape open in a browser tab on your computer, or put the Brainscape study app on your phone's main home screen, so it's always easy to just pull out and rate your confidence on a few flashcards, even if you only have like 5 minutes. Our second main inertia fighting tip is to break your studying into frequent milestones. If you're just looking at this giant textbook with the dread that I have to memorize this whole thing for my finals, it'll be so hard to get your brain to focus on beating that beast. So decide in advance what all your steps will be. Maybe it'll be like scan the chapter summaries first, then make Brainscape flashcards for chapter 1, chapter 2, etc. Or reach 80% mastery in Brainscape on one deck of flashcards at a time, and so on. Seriously, write down all your milestones before you even get started studying. Because if you always have the end in sight for each milestone with the next 20 or 30 minutes in front of you, then it is 10 times easier to stay focused than if you have just this one giant amorphous, intimidating goal. Breaking things into mini milestones also allows you to decide which one you're going to tackle right now, and since you are the best judge of how much concentration energy you have at the moment, the more types of activities you have on your list, the better you can allocate your attention as you go based on what feels right to do this moment. So you finally started to focus, but that's only half the battle. How are you going to actually prevent the distractions that could sabotage your focus while you're studying? Well, first, let's try to prevent the distractions that come from our own brain. It can be really helpful before you start studying to just knock out as many small to-do list items that you know you're going to have to do ASAP anyway, right? Call mom, clear your inbox, feed your cat or dog or iguana, fire off some texts about your night out tonight, clip your toenails, whatever. Get it out of your system. Or at the very least, write down all those small things that you know you're going to want or need to do today after your study so that you can mentally outsource your daydreaming onto paper and devote that mental bandwidth to studying now. The next step is to stop outside distractors from sabotaging you. And the biggest one, as we've talked about, is your phone. Put it in airplane mode or on silent, or put it in another room if you must. Your phone is a black hole for focus, so stay away, unless of course you're using it to study in Brainscape while you're on the go somewhere. But seriously, the same goes for your friends or roommates. Tell them to leave you the F alone. You could even put on headphones to signal that you're in study mode if you want, but just be careful about studying with music in general, as it can actually worsen your focus, as the Brainscape team has also researched recently. Either way, don't just plan your work, plan your breaks too. This sort of goes with our earlier tip about defining frequent milestones. Breaking your studying into tons of smaller achievable goals doesn't just make it less daunting to get started, but it gives you a perfect point where you can take a break because you've earned it. Get up and stretch. Have a snack. Maybe check your phone if you can trust yourself to turn it back to airplane mode within 2 minutes. And if you happen to be using Brainscape to study, then it's easy to plan these micro breaks and milestones because we already break your studying into nice rounds of 10-card flashcards. So you can say, I'm going to study 5 rounds and take a break, or I'm going to study until I hit 80% mastery at study rounds checkpoint, and then see at the Brainscape checkpoint how much time I have left so that I can allocate my remaining focus appropriately. So we've talked about how you can buckle up and stay focused now. But one final point is that there are ways that you could actually build your attention span for the future. We've got tons of tips about how to improve your focus, how to boost your motivation, and how to build strong habits over time at the Brainscape Academy or right here on this channel. So be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, and remember to study with Brainscape so you can have all the tools you need to rise to your challenge.